said your writing mentor was probing you to be more vulnerable. What did that look like?
Crying. I love crying. It looked like FaceTime calls where she would start very like positive, like, you know, you've got a good draft here. It's not bad. I see what you're trying to say. She's like, you know what? The truth is, you're still hiding behind something. And she was so blunt about things like that. And in the moment, I was like, who do you think you are? Why are you talking to me like this? Like, you don't know me like that. Yeah. Again, that was another point of growth for me because it's so personal for you to even apply yourself to something you've never done before. But then on top of that, talk about very vulnerable things and details that you don't want anyone to know about you. That especially like in the Christian world, you try and protect, or you try and cover it because it's like it doesn't look fancy and it doesn't look like the promise of God over your life when you're going through struggle. And so I realized that I had all these walls of pride and pretense built, and I always came at things from a position of faith, which, okay, there's boldly declare the promise of God over your life, but then I think there's a really fine line when it becomes a shield that you hide behind so that you don't actually acknowledge a reality. You actually need to unpack it. And I think more of that was her getting me to talk for me, to heal for me. Throughout the book, I play with the idea of bravery versus vulnerability. And growing up in, Pacific Islander household, everyone's very strong, and then you add faith to that, and then you've got to be like strong in the Word of God. And I don't think that there leaves much room for you to embrace weakness or like tenderness or vulnerability. I think it's portrayed to be something that people can't respect, because then you've got a lack of faith if you let a situation get to you to the point where you're breaking down and crying, or you've got a lack of faith if you need to go and see a psychologist because mentally you're not dealing with the grief that happens in life. I think it all comes back to that, of just this massive misconception. There's a Christian bubble, I think that's what I discovered, that growing up in a household that believed in God, it wasn't until life started to really hit me in the face that I realized, okay, I can't live off mum and dad's faith anymore. It doesn't matter how many Bible verses I remember or how many epic one-liners I remember from sermons. My life doesn't look anything like what God promised me, and that's where I had to grapple with faith. And I think then linking that back to bravery and vulnerability, when someone asks you to be vulnerable about stuff and your whole life you've gotten used to just speaking Christianese and declaring faith and not really acknowledging what's going on, that becomes like a point of friction for you. I would say it was a very humbling experience, but probably what I learned the most was that true bravery is actually being vulnerable.
How did you deal with people who you would see and they would just be like, oh, what are you doing with your life? Like, what's happening? I'm writing a book. Oh, what's the book about? Did you ever feel like you couldn't really explain because it's just like they won't understand?
Yeah.
How did that?
I'm gonna cry. No, it's so hard. You know what I realized, actually? It's really important who you do life with, because not everyone's going to be for your impossible dream. You think that you've got people who will do life or do the journey with you until it becomes super unconventional, Like when you've got a pumping career, or you've got savings, or you're traveling the world and you're cool to have fun and everything like that. Even if you're like living a double life, you compromise in certain areas, people think you're mad. And then all of a sudden you make this 180 and you start beelining a collar goal in your life, and you start doing things that are super uncomfortable, like growing and maturing and quitting your job to do something that God asked you to do. Things that start to not make sense. You realize that some people who are down for you in the beginning are nowhere to be found when you're right in the middle of healing.
What helped you to stay obedient in that? I mean, like I need to keep going.
I had to every day wake up and choose, this is going to be worth it. And then not only that, seeing the fruit in my own life. Obedience pays off. It really does. And it's a really like not sexy word. It's not glamorous. And this is actually our purest form of love to God. And it's rooted in reverence. And I think you can't get there without delving deep in your relationship with God and understanding that it's only humility that can walk with God. And until you die to yourself and your pride and your own agendas and your own ways and your ego, really, until you die to that, you'll never be able to walk in humility. You'll never be able to surrender fully to God's plan and then live a life of obedience and have a heart that's full of love and purity towards your God, that no matter what He asks you to do, your answer is yes.